The purpose of this video is going to be twofold. My aim is to give you some direction or advice on how to handle when people or the game you're playing get a little bit rage-inducing, because we've all had that moment or two before. See, I used to be an angry, hateful little firecracker until one night I drank a whole lot and fell headfirst into hours of introspection. Now, I don't suggest you find yourself that way. It's rather unpleasant, remarkably unsafe, and it's nothing that can't be done without a little critical thinking, but that's a department in which I severely lack in any a natural avenue to achieve it. Look, the point is, I'm much more mellowed out now that I've employed some of these practices, and I figured I'd share them in case they might help somebody else. The easiest one to implement is remembering it's nothing more than a game. Yes, you may be repeatedly getting trampled by chargers, and it's infuriating. But in actuality, you're just someone sitting in a chair. If you notice you're getting aggravated, take off the headphones, put down the controller, or step away from the keyboard. The only power this has over you is the power you allow it to have. Often people invested in a high-stakes game such as this forget that augmented reality is exactly that. It's augmented reality. It's not the one in which you reside. Should you find yourself in a position which these very people are lashing out at you, before responding with anger, take a step back and ask yourself a few questions. Is this really an argument that's worth your time and effort? At the end of the day, what do you gain from negatively interacting with this individual? Are you really going to let anyone other than yourself control your emotions and bait you into lashing out? All the solace you need in regards to them attacking you is already provided. You're not the person screaming into the microphone at a stranger. You've won. If someone's life is truly so unbearably miserable at that moment that they feel the impulsive need to put you down, let them. Clearly, their life is going much worse than yours is right now because you're not being a complete freak. If you're thinking about being one of the people starting the fight because a stranger aggrieved you in some fashion, I would encourage you to once again pause and contemplate both cause and consequence of your actions. As we've already established, it's rather embarrassing letting anyone other than yourself, or, for some of you, the assortment of voices in your head, control how you feel. Even if they have that hold upon you, don't be so foolish as to prove them right. The last thing you want to do is show your cards and have them result in you looking like an idiot. There's a few things you're better off not doing in this world when it comes to interacting with others, and near the top of the list would be the following. You do not attribute to malice what can be better attributed to stupidity, and you do not wrestle in the mud with pigs, because it just makes them happy and you get covered in shit. The best thing you can do to somebody trying to pull a serious upset reaction out of you is just laugh in their face. They don't have a single inkling of influence over you if you simply look them in the eyes and from the bottom of your heart tell them, quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Honestly, what could be more demoralizing than trying to coax a response out of someone and having them not respond in anger, but apathy? On one hand, you can sympathize and pity the person for being so pathetic that they need to annoy others on the internet for fulfillment in life. On the other hand, you may empathize with someone who, all things considered, might just be a bona fide idiot. It's easy to jump to the conclusion that we are being attacked, but really investigate the behavior of others, because some folks truly are as dumb as the day is long. If someone's a couple drops short of a full bucket, either have a teaching moment or don't bother them. You can't really fault someone for not having all the knowledge you do. After all, you're not the same person. You never know what's going on in someone else's life. I feel like that should be the majority of the person-to-person component out of the way. Now we can talk about the best way to blow off steam in the game so you don't end up boiling over. I suppose the most important detail would be recognizing when you're stretching your patience too thin and are about to snap. Some key giveaways would be things like, are you raising your voice more, speaking faster? Are you sweating, or do you have any form of tension headache? Most of these are both bearable and manageable, so long as you do them in a balanced manner. The problem arises when uncomfortable things start compounding for long periods of time. You don't have to analyze yourself after every mission, but give yourself a little once-over after completing a very intense operation. An operation being the full series of missions, not just one. If you're starting to slip and you're getting a bit testy, it's a good idea to return to a comfortable cruising altitude instead of pushing yourself beyond your limits repeatedly. You gotta find what I like to call hangout difficulty. Hangout difficulty is something that is just hard enough to keep you engaged in what's going on, but you're not gonna lose. For me, it's about extreme or so for bots and hard for bugs. If I don't want anything taxing, that is. The reason it's lower for bugs is because the degree to which I hate hunters and spewers. You can't go too easy because it's not going to feel mentally stimulating at all, and you'll get very bored doing that. So don't undersell your ability either. Play an operation or two in these watered down difficulties until you can sorta slow yourself back down and focus once again. If that doesn't work for you, remember, like I said in the beginning, it's just a game. You've got the ability to get up and walk away whenever you'd like. Nobody can stop you. Getting lost in the mix of things is very easy to do if you've been sitting there for a while. Go drink some water and eat something. You're not you when you're hungry. If it's a viable option, go out for a walk, get some air. If you need to channel some frustration, do some push-ups or something of that nature that'll leave you tired. If you're doing anything, you at least want it to be constructive. The least you could do is direct it in a manner that helps you improve yourself. After all, the point of gaming is to have fun above all else. If you aren't, it would suggest that you may want to do something a little differently. I know it's easy being impulsive. I mean, the definition of the word is literally the act of not thinking before you do something. But even a moment's forethought can save you from regretting something later. We have all done things we regret. I myself have about 3 lifetimes worth of poor decisions packed into mine. I understand the struggle, trust me. It's important that when we are in a heated situation, we take a step back and examine our more volatile emotions instead of acting upon them. It's not the job of the world around us to conform in a way that never upsets us. It's our job to maintain a degree of level-headedness and not let our feelings get the better of us. When we do that, we not only help ourselves, but we help all of those around us. This part is not related, but it's something I'd like to add. My upload schedule is going to be weird until about the 28th. I have family members going on vacation, and I will be watching their dogs somewhere that I will not have my PC. I'm trying to work ahead as much as I can, but it's kind of a last-minute request, so I've got no idea how many I'll be able to schedule the next few days. On the bright side, this means I have a full week to gather ideas and prepare. Oh, and I'll be on my phone, and that sucks for making replies, so I apologize if I'm late responding to anything. Now, I believe that's everything out of the way, and I hope this was able to provide you at least one method to help maintain your sanity. As with every other video, I thank you for spending your time with me. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you take care of yourself and have a great night.